something had to...
Anyone can be a leader. Claim your seat at the table. Take up those opportunities that allow you to position yourself in front of leadership, because no one's going to do it for you. My name is Izzy Obeng and I'm the CEO of Foundervine. We're a platform that helps businesses led by women and diverse founders to get the support, the resources, the training and the skills that they need to grow. I started my career in management consulting and I was working for one of the biggest firms in the world. It was a really quick learning process that in order to survive in this environment, I had to change who I was. So it wasn't the best time. There weren't enough female partners, there weren't enough kind of women in my team who I could look up to. There just wasn't enough representation. And I remember just thinking, what would it actually look like to just live my life with the freedom of someone who just didn't have to think about those things? And if anything, I started to flip it on its head. I am the only person like me in this room with my perspective, my experience. How wonderful is that? And it's that difference that I could use as my superpower. And once I did that, something really powerful happened. I became so confident thinking that, I deserve to be in this space. I started coaching outside of work. I started mentoring younger people. I started bringing them into the office and showing them what consulting was like. And something clicked. I wanted to do far more of that. I wanted to build platforms that brought people together who had great ideas and didn't know where to start because they didn't have a rich uncle who could fund their first idea. They didn't have the ability to go to all these networking events, and the idea for Foundervine was born. Starting a business is tough, and I think that my leadership journey has been one of finding really bright people, bringing them together, sharing with them a vision, and living that vision in everything that I do and say. Someone once told me that your first goal as a leader is to fire yourself from everything. To be in the detail, I think it actually ends up being detrimental. You should be able to effectively delegate to a brilliant team that you have brought on because you recognize their potential. Empathy is so critical to it because you have to really understand the people who you want to follow you, and putting together a really inspiring narrative that people can get behind is so critical to leadership. I think sometimes people do confuse leadership with having a sense of authority. You don't necessarily have to be super extroverted and kind of loud and all of that to be able to give people a sense that they are not just doing their job, they're not just workers, but they are builders. My sister, for example, is very reserved and maybe wouldn't consider herself a leader in some traditional sense, but you listen to her talk about what she's passionate about, leading her children and preparing them for the world, and you can see a leader. So I absolutely think that leaders are created everywhere and we just need to give them that space to do their work. The cliche around faking it till you make it is one that is very apt. Everyone is making it up. The only difference between you and someone else is that they're much better at suppressing that anxiety than just doing it. And so once you can kind of take all of that and just hold on to it and deliver, you will be so surprised at how big your comfort zone expands until you are just occupying all of the space that you need to. Where I am now, absolute blessing that I get to wake up every day and do work that I love. But I know there's another step in the journey where I can amplify a message on a much larger scale. And that means speaking to power, to government, to industry, and driving change at that level. And I'm excited about that leadership journey growing.